which basically was the aspect that we were covering in our last session as well. So we would be resuming our session in that context. So I would be sharing with you the presentation that exactly goes with it. So please bear with me.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam, mine. Can you see the presentation?
No, sir.
Not yet, sir.
Okay.
Sir, it is visible now.
Thank you. Thank you for that voice confirmation. So I think yes, I think it is visible for all of you. I would like, unless you want to speak,
भाई अगर जाना है तो फिर ले आओ पोस्ट
please
ऑफिस से किसी
mute
को
in your
वापस ही
phone.
निकला दे.
Mine, please mute your microphone. Yes, thank you very much, Mine. Unless and until you want to speak, please do not unmute your microphones. Thank you very much. So let's commence with the session that we have for today. Now, if you recall, we were discussing about the first P that happens to be associated with something called as the first P in the marketing mix, which is associated with product. Now, product is synonymous with services as well. So we would be taking up these two contexts in the synonymously, of course, but there is a stark amount of difference in the context of both of them. Now, we basically had discussed, if you recall in our earlier class, something in the context of product, in the context of the design, the aspects of luxury brands. We talked about the product mix, which was all about the width, the length, the number of lines that it has, the number of items that it had, the product mix, and finally we also tried to look at the product line analysis. So here we would be doing something which is called as a product line analysis, which exactly any marketing manager has to do, because they must review how the product line is actually positioned against the competitor's product line. Now, let us take the case of a paper as a product here. The paper that we use it for different type of purpose. Now, paper we use for printing, paper we use for our daily stationery, paper we use for printing cards, paper we use for printing stationery, paper we use for different type of activity. Like if you want to have a point of purchase display that we want to make, or office supplies, we all use paper for the different type of activity. That is, different type of utility is performed by this product. And we intend to be looking at the different categories of paper which are positioned in the product line towards the type of a competitive position that it actually has with a parallel brand. So let us assume that we exactly have got a marketing manager who exactly is associated with a company called X. And this is a paperboard product line. So we have got two paperboard attributes which exactly are there. First is in the context of weight. That is how we generally call it as GSM, grams. That exactly is on the basis of with the GSM, how thick the paper is, the weight of the paper, and then the finish quality of the paper. These are the two categories on the basis of which we would be analyzing our product vis-a-vis a competing product line, which exactly is there. So on one side, we have got the finish, which is all about the quality in the y-axis, which talks about high quality, medium quality, and low quality paper. And on the x-axis, we have got four different variants. We've got a low variant of a 90 GSM, a medium variant of a 120 GSM, a high variant of 120 GSM, and an extra high, extra thick paper of 180 GSM. Now, we are going to be trying to analyze where exactly we are locating ourselves. Now, let's say there are four brands which exactly are being using this. We've got a brand called A, B, C, D, and X. These are the four brands, A, B, C, D, four brands. And let us say there's a company called X which exactly wants to position its product line for the different applications. So how exactly is it going to come about it? So let's say if you look at this graph, which exactly is presented in your screen, talking about the market profile and image, we exactly would be in a position to see that we have got, if you look at product D, the brand D. Now brand D actually is making very low quality papers. It's making 90 GSM papers, and these 90 GSM papers are used with high qualities of finish. That is, it has a low quality finish, medium quality finish, and a high quality finish. So it is basically generally used for general printing. Now, this is the core competency of brand D, which is in the area of general printing, because general printing wants to be used uh, by a low GSM paper, but general printing for a very fine print, you may have the D variant, which is exactly taking care of it. Also for the medium type of printing or for low quality of printing, both, all of them, the low GSM paper is actually good at it. So D is occupying this sort of a area. And then we have got another variant which is called as the variant C. If you're looking at variant C exactly comes with a low GSM and a low finish. Also, it comes with a medium GSM, that is 120 GSM, and a medium finish. And then it comes with a high GSM, that is 150, and it has a high finish. So if you see, it is positioned in a diagonal. It is positioned in a diagonal, which exactly is how this sort of a paper is positioned. That is low. It has one product line in low, one product line in medium, and one product line in high. So if you're looking at D, D is vertical and C is in a diagonal position. Now, if you're looking at a brand called as B, now B, if you're looking, B exactly has a spread which is across. It is everywhere. Like it has a low presence, it has a medium weight presence, it has a high weight presence. But if in a low presence, it exactly caters to a high finish. That is in the context of sorry, it has a low finish, low product and a low finish. Then B also has a medium product and a medium finish. And then for high quality, that is a high GSM paper, it has both presence in low finish as well as high finish. So if you can technically see, B is everywhere. But if you're looking at A is exactly opposite of D, because A is only printing very high GSM papers. A is having a high paper, which is the high GSM paper in low finish, or A is having a high GSM paper in high finish. So if you can try to see that different people have actually a different type of positioning that they have actually created for the type of products that they exactly have. So they have actually categorized the different areas of market. Now, let's say there's a brand called X that it wants to enter into the market, and brand X actually is trying to position itself. So now brand X wants to come up with three variants. First is it has a low quality paper, that is a low weight paper, medium, low GSM, that's about 90 GSM paper. Then it has a medium GSM about 120, and it has a high GSM that is about 180 GSM. Now, if you see these diagonals, these red lines that you're seeing, One is starting from the left northwest end, and it comes down this diagonal, and then there's one which is starting from the southwest, and it is going up till the northeast. So effectively, these two diagonals are actually the dividing points for the market. So on the top of this diagonal, that is, this diagonal actually divides the entire frame into three segments. The top is actually taken up by the point of purchase displays. Those exactly are the paper products which exactly. So here you see the most of the players, there are only two players. One is brand C and one is brand B. So there's only one level of competition which is there for point of purchase display. But if you're looking at general printing, that is on the left side of the this grid, you will see that there is basically the D is the market leader, because D has a product which is catering to high finish, low finish and medium finish, and this is generally for the low GSM paper, which is generally general printing is done. So you have got B and C. B also has a substantial amount of presence, but C has a slower amount of presence over here. So effectively, this exactly is the section. And if you're looking to the right lower diagonal of the, which exactly involves office supplies, now here you'll find that A has a good amount of control, and we have got B also having a substantial amount of share. So here C is missing, D is missing. So effectively what happens is different segments of the market are being catered to by different type of brands. You've got brand A, which is catering to one segment of market, brand B, which is trying to consolidate its position in multiple segments. Brand D is consolidating to one type of product segment, and brand C is catering to another side of segments. Now, the challenge is for you to enter into a segment which exactly you want to diversify your operation. So you come up with a decide that you try to position yourself as brand X. Now, first you try to enter into a segment, the general printing segment. Now here you've got actually a medium finish with a low GSM paper, and that is where you try to put yourself somewhere in the first segment, that is toward the left hand side of the segment, which is exactly for general printing. You find yourself moving over here because you find that D is the major player and B and C have a substantial amount of presence. So you also want to actually try to use this segment to get a foothold in this segment. Also, what you might try to do is you might try to, with a medium weight paper that you're producing, you would try to enter into office supplies segment. But then you can use this paper for both office supplies, as you can jump the other side of the red line where basically you can give it for general printing. So both people can basically use this segment of paper, that is a 120 GSM paper, because that's again in the low category of finish that you exactly are producing. But then there is another segment which you are producing, which is called the office supplies, which basically is a medium quality paper that you're producing. You're also producing medium quality paper, but in two variants. That is, one is a high GSM, that is 150, as well as a low GSM. So you're trying to put it again on the on this line, because you want to use it both for point of purchase as well as office supplies. So if there is a certain segment of people which require a high GSM paper for office supply, you want to print some sort of a whiteboard or things of that sort, so you definitely would try to, because here you have got A is the market leader and B also has a substantial amount of presence. So you want to position it over here. Now this exactly is how you as a marketing manager would like to put your product in the different categories of the market where basically you have got competition. So this is something that you exactly would be doing, and this is what basically people do. Now, for example, if I might ask you, if you've got to come up with a beauty soap, so where would you position it? You'll position it against which type of a product? Which is a brand you would like to position it? Any takers? Yes, I can see Arma is there. Yes.
Sir, Lux maybe?
Okay, beauty soap. Yes, Lux is one brand which exactly has a lot of mind share, and definitely if you're coming up with a beauty soap, you're going to come it over there. But if you actually are producing a product which exactly is, let's say, a brand like Nivea. Now, where would you position Nivea as a marketing manager, I might say?
So Nivea has a range of products, right? So first we need to specify which kind of product are we looking at.
Okay. If no, I'm talking about the soap, the soap market. Let's say Nivea soap, which
So
exactly says that it has
with
90%
Dove,
cream.
with Dove,
Okay, Dove, yes. So effectively, now basically you are actually thinking like a marketeer. But if let's say I come up, yes, Kratika, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. I would like to make a point here. Like you discussed
Yes.
about Nivea and stuff. So, considering the demand and the status of the people, Nivea and Love are considered as luxurious product. So, I think it will be below like X office supplies, and the rest like Lux. So, and these will be like in the general printing product.
No, no, no. प्रिंटिंग को आप भूल जाइए अभी अभी आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट another category of product where basically I want you to look at let's say the general the soap market that we have out here, the bathing soap market or the toilet soap market that we have. So how do we position a brand? Okay, let's say for example if I come up with a product called Pears, how are you going to position it? Where are you going to position it?
So, bathing product. It is mostly used in bathing
Sorry,
product.
bathing product, but basically it's a glycerine product. Actually a glycerine product. But let's say if I come up with a product which exactly is Medimix. Medimix is also making a soap. Now, how would you going to push it? Where are you going to put it?
so with
Yes.
biotech and stuff, the brands which produce herbal and medicinal soaps and things.
Okay. And let's say, for example, if I come up with a green soap, the concept of a green soap. Now, there are many soaps which are
So
actually green in
antibacterial,
color. Yes, yes, Shahid.
antibacterial,
Sir, medicinal.
Yes, medicinal. Good. So if I want to come up
antibacterial
with
soap.
now an Ayurvedic soap, let's say if I want to come up with an Ayurvedic soap.
So, it will be in the category of medicinal soap.
Okay. So now let's say there's a company called Patanjali. Now Patanjali wants to enter into the market. So how, as a brand manager of Patanjali, where exactly are you going to put, which exactly are the segments where you can put your products?
Sir, around herbal
Okay.
category and
Healthcare.
medicinal
Ayurvedic.
category, Ayurveda.
Ayurvedic.
So mainly Ayurvedic we will consider because
Okay.
like we have a market where like Patanjali has created a market
Because
that
the
is
brand, because Kritika, the brand Patanjali actually is positioned in the minds. यार क्लास चल रही है अभी तो ठीक है
so actually it was launched as a medicine as an Ayurvedic product. So it's a,
हाँ
and as an it was launched as an Ayurvedic company. So most
not
probably we will
was
be
it is
yes.
positioned as an as a Ayurvedic a brand which basically is actually an Indian brand which exactly is trying to have a national presence and make in India philosophy was incorporated into it, that it's something where basically all our old traditional uh, mechanisms were, or basically scriptures were used to create different type of products for the different type of consumer uh, fast moving consumer goods and consumer FMCG segment. So effectively, when you are creating a product that exactly is catering to this as a mindset, you definitely have to look at exactly how do you actually position it. So my objective is not about talking about anything. Now, interestingly, when I'm talking about a product like this, let's look at a product like Lux. Oh, sorry, like a product like Lifebuoy. We already discussed it. Now, Lifebuoy is a very interesting product. So how would you actually use this towards positioning to what segment of the society? How would you position Lifebuoy?
Antibacterial,
Okay,
cleanliness,
antibacterial,
hygiene.
hygiene. What else?
So, like Pratiksha mentioned, antibacterial, cleanliness, hygiene, like with brands like Dettol and Savlon.
Mhm. So effectively now you're getting the entire picture in place, that basically when we are actually trying to look at different type of market profiling and image about the product line analysis, we exactly have to look into the personality of the product, its utility, its characteristics. Excuse me. Hello. Walaikum salam. हाँ लामे यार बोल बताना अभी actually I'm on with a marketing class right now. Huh? Sorry, students. We had a small break, but these things can't be avoided when you're speaking, taking a session in the office. But anyway, sorry for that break. So technically, what I'm trying to basically position is that when you, as a marketing manager, have to take this sort of a decision, it's very important to understand that no textbook can give you the idea of how to take a decision. You have to take a decision on the basis of the profile of the market, the image that your product actually has in the market's mind share, as well as the features that you have, and what exactly that product is actually going to be used for. Now, this exactly is a very, very important aspect which exactly has to be taken where you want to position the product. So this is very important. Now, let's say, for example, I have decided to take up with another type of a product, the writing instrument. Now, all of you must be, everyone is using a writing instrument, and we have a product like, we've got a pen, the writing pen that we use. Most of us are using a ballpoint pen for our day-to-day writing, isn't it? So how exactly, what is the type? Let's say, for example, I come up with a product called Link pen, Linc, Link, the Link pen. Now, where exactly would I position it? Which is the category that basically best uses positions the use of this pen? Where exactly is this there?
So stationery.
Of course, it is stationary, but where? Which category of consumers are going to be positioned for this sort of a pen?
So students.
Yes.
Office goers.
Office going people.
Not
The
really office
economics.
goers, but
So
yes,
mostly
you can
students
have
will.
mostly students. And now you know when I'm going to use it for students, what exactly is the price point I'm going to keep it?
So 5 to 10 rupees.
So
Yes,
it
sir.
would be either low price or medium
Yes, it
price.
will be a low price. I'm not going to specify what exactly is going to be the price, but it's going to be a low priced product that exactly I intend to be keeping at. I don't know whether for somebody 10 rupee may also be too high, but basically what I'm trying to say is it's a low price. So that's a good answer, that I'm going to keep it at a low price segment. Now, the pen made by a brand called Luxor. Luxor is also making stationery. So where exactly are the different type of, Luxor is also coming up with different type of drawing instruments, or drawing or let's say even instrument box. It's making for students, it's making Luxor is making these instrument box which are used for geometry, drawing geometry classes in standard 7, 8, 9, 10. Those basically are using those compasses or protractor or set squares or scales and things of that sort. So effectively Luxor is making that. Plus Luxor is making another pens also. So what are the pens Luxor are making? Can you tell me?
Fiber pens.
So
Pilot.
Parkers.
Yes.
Parker
Pilot
pen.
pen, fiber pens.
Okay. So effectively you can understand that how exactly these are going to be priced on the basis of for whom it is going to be used.
So it has a
So
wide variety. So it has a wide variety of range. So
exactly
it is
what I
like
mean to
from
say
the
is
lower.
that when you're making a pen like branded as Parker, so who exactly are the clients for this sort of who the consumers for this Parker
So
pens?
office going people, or like people like CEO or
No,
high status people.
I
Sir,
don't think so.
clerk.
CEOs would use a Parker pen. Yes.
Clerks.
Anybody else? Yes, office going. Yes. Another use for pen.
It's a status symbol.
Not really you can call it a status symbol, but it's basically how it's used as a fashion accessory. But you can now
Yes,
think.
sir.
I want you to think. Yes. Fatima, why didn't you speak it out? Why type it? It's going to strain me. I want to. I don't want to read the text. You can just speak it out. It'll be good.
Sir,
Okay.
my phone is having some problems, so voice not doesn't go much. So
No, your voice is very clear. I can hear it. All of us can hear it. It's good to hear your voice.
For gifting purpose,
Yes,
presenting someone.
gifts. Because the stationery are very interesting gift items. So you want to gift somebody a pen that speaks. Like for different people, you would gift different things, isn't it? Like for somebody, you might gift a chocolate. For somebody, you might gift a pen. For somebody, you might gift a book. So effectively, pen or writing instruments. So definitely, you're not going to give a link pen, isn't it, to gift? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So definitely, now, this is how you started thinking like a marketeer. So you have to actually think in the context of who is going to be using the product. What is the occasion? Why is this product going to be sold? At what price point I'm going to pitch this product? If you're going to put the product with the wrong positioning, you are going to actually make a mess of the product. Now, there are so many products. I'll talk to you. I'll give you an example which exactly never were very successful. Like I remember there was a product. It was a soap called the Lee Sonsi. Lee Sonsi. This was a brand. This was a soap which never was very successful. It never clicked in the Indian market. Or why didn't it click? Probably it was like, the shape of the soap was like an egg. Now, technically, when you are in a shower or in a situation, you can never hold that soap. The soap would never stick to your hand. It'll just slip out. So it was a design flaw. It was a design disaster. The second aspect of the soap was that it would never melt. I mean, you can buy one soap and then it would go on for eternity. I mean, I don't know what they made this soap out of, but then this was one crazy product which never. So people never had it. Then I remember there was one product which also I saw in the a situation which never actually clicked. Which there was one blackhead remover, especially for people who had these blackheads on their noses. It was just something like this. What would you call it?
So
As a
nose
band-aid.
strips.
So
Nose
Yes,
strips.
yes. You used to put it on your nose and then you used to peel it out and then the
Yes,
blackheads
sir.
used to come out. That thing also flopped. I mean, there are so many Indian examples that you might also come about with certain type of products that never were successful. Probably some of the reasons was that it never actually went to the right level of communication. It was never targeted properly. It was never uh, matched with the profile of the consumer. The profile of the product and the consumer never matched, and the image was never there. So can you give me example of certain products that never were successful?
Nano, Tata Nano.
Okay, yes, good. Tata Nano as a car was a big flop. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Google Glass.
Google glasses. Google has like a zillion amount of products. I would say. I don't know. Yes, when you have got so many products or so many products that actually are there, but Google glasses actually again. I will tell you about a electric car called Reva.
Yes, sir.
REVA. Reva. Have you heard about it?
Yes, sir.
Mahindra.
नहीं, Mahindra
Yes,
नहीं.
sir, Mahindra.
Reva was manufactured from a company in South India. There was this company because Reva was an electric car that launched much before their time, and effectively Reva never, but Reva came much early. Had Reva come now, it would have been a big success. But Reva came up with a concept much before time. So effectively, the challenge why these products actually never were successful was that they did not match with the market profile. The image of the product never matched with the market profile, and that's basically one of the reasons why there's been always a sort of a mismatch, and the result, the product being getting out of the market. Now we will be talking about something called as product line length. Now, you know about the product line that I talked about. Now, line, you know what exactly is a product line, and the length of product line defines the width of the product mix that exactly is there. So now, basically, when you're talking about line stretching, I want to stretch the line. What I mean, I can stretch it two ways, isn't it? I can stretch it up, I can stretch it bottom, and I can stretch it both the ways. Now, look at the type of cars that Maruti Udyog is actually producing. It's very interesting to observe, like there's a brand called Alto, which was Maruti 800 was there. Then Maruti 800 came up with Maruti Alto. Okay, that was a new segment that was created. These were 800cc engines, and then this is stretching. Now they have come up with another one. I don't know what's the name. It's a small car. It's called it's called I don't remember the name. Can somebody just come in? Maruti 800. Celerio, yes, Celerio, and then another one. Espresso, right. If you look at these two segments, basically Wagon R was downsized to these two segments. So technically, if you are stretching it down the line, these exactly are examples of down market stretch. But then let us look at up market stretch. Let us look at some brand that exactly, if you have seen a brand which exactly is called as the X10. Maruti, they have come with XL6, sorry, the XL6. If you've seen XL6, that exactly is a stretch which came from which variant? Can somebody tell me?
Ertiga?
Yes,
Ertiga?
Ertiga, actually XL6. These exactly are stretching that side. Now, interestingly, it's not only about Maruti Udyog, but if you're looking at another type of a company, which exactly is also coming up, and if you're looking at a Hyundai, Creta, they have come up with another variant. They have got a tie-up with another brand, and Creta, they have upgraded and they've stretched the market to another SUV that you're coming up with. So effectively, that is stretching the line. So you can stretch it early, or you can stretch it outside. That is up stretching and down stretching. So you can have two box cars or three box cars, and then you have got SUVs, MUVs, multi-purpose vehicles, and so on and so forth. So you can do it, or you can stretch it in both the direction, or you can do a up market stretch, you can do a down market stretch, or you can do a two-way stretch. Now coming with line filling, that's exactly what Tata Motors did when they came up with something called as a car which exactly is Rexon or Nexon, Tata Nexon, I think.
Nexon.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Excellent.
If you look at Nexon is actually a line filling strategy, where basically they had a product line and they wanted to fit in a car over there, which was a gap which was created by the technology. So Nexon, they decided to come up with this car because they said that this car is actually going to fill in the gap which exactly has been created because of technology. Now, there is something called a line modernization. So let's say somebody comes up with an electric car, okay, or it comes with a hybrid car. That's basically an example of a line modernizing. You're modernizing the line according to the technology. Or let's say, for example, if it's a hydrogen car that you're coming up with. Now, incidentally, we've got another type of a fuel option, which is called as the blue hydrogen. Now, blue hydrogen is a new type of a fuel which will be used by certain type of cars. So that's basically a line modernization. Now, there's something called as line featuring and line pruning. Now, when line pruning is cutting it down. It's something like, botany, where you prune the plants so that they exactly grow much healthier, and they basically, actually you conserve the energy into a area where basically the energy that you don't want. Let's say, for example, you've got flowers which exactly bloom, you prune them. You cut those flowers so that they don't take the energy of the plant, and then you've got new flowers coming up. So it's something similar. That's basically what line pruning is all about. So let's say, for example, if you look at Maruti 800, now 800 is done away with, isn't it? So effectively, if you look at a brand called as the Swift, now the Swift they're trying to do away with. They're trying to change the Swift, and they're trying to do some sort of change, like they changed this Zen, the brand
Sandro.
called yes, Santro, yes,
Sandro.
exactly. So effectively, this exactly is what is called as line pruning. So this is what we have in the context of the product line length. Now,
So,
product mix,
so
yes,
when we talk about the upmarket stretch, then can
yes,
we also give the example of Cadbury Dairy Milk? It introduced Dairy Milk Silk. So can
yes,
you give an example of upmarket stretch going from Dairy Milk to Dairy Milk Silk?
yes, yes. That's very true, Arma. We can also have we got all variants. Like you have got silk, then you have got these bubble ones that basically and then you got those crunchy ones as well. You got the rice, the crackle, which exactly is also there. So effectively this is adding new aspect. Then you've got fruit and nuts, and then you've got cocoa, and then you got a range of chocolates that can be added. Now that's basically. And then if you're talking about the line stretching on the lower side, then you've got those shots,
Yes, sir.
those
Shots
those
and 5 star.
Yes. So effectively that is bringing to the lower segment. So basically people, and also you can have those in a smaller sized packaging. If
Yes,
you've
sir.
seen those packagings which are basically for $10 or $5, I remember those. Yes, gems. Gems is a very interesting, as Fatima says. So that's basically a down market stretch. That's excellent. So effectively, my idea was that if I can illustrate these examples to you from your daily life, that will fill the purpose. Yes, Uruj, you want to say something? Yes, Uruj, we are all ears. You had unmuted your microphone, then you decided to keep it to
So by
yourself.
mistake it got unmute.
No, no, no. We like the mistake. We want people to speak up. Good, good. So if you have any point to make, feel free to make it to the rest of the class. We all look forward to having your inputs as well. Anyway, so coming back to understanding the aspect which is called as product mix pricing. Now, product mix pricing is when the firm basically searches for a set of prices that maximizes the profits of the total mix. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to look at the product line pricing. So how do I do product line pricing? And then how do I do something called as optional feature pricing? If I'm going to give you something extra, I'm going to add a part of that pricing to it. Then I've got captive product pricing. There's a product pricing which exactly is very captive to the type of products. Two-part pricing. I will give a product and its service, and I'm going to part it and I'm going to add it separately. Then byproduct pricing. Let's say, for example, if you're going to return the product back, I'm going to give you some sort of money for that as well, because if you're going to uh, buy a product from me after returning your product, I'm going to give you. So it's called a byproduct pricing. Then product bundling prices. If you buy two things together, like let's say for example you buy one plus one free, so effectively I'm going to have a joint pricing which is actually going to be the less than the initial components. Also we've got these different. Now I'm going to, at this point of time, I'm going to be talking about a brand which exactly is very close to all of you, and this exactly is called as the Good Night. Now, Good Night is the brand of mosquito repellents. It started its entrepreneurial journey as a technically superior alternative to mosquito repellent coils that emit smoke. The company found initial success in mosquito repellent paper mats infused with D-alethyrin, a substance which is highly toxic for insects but not for humans. Now, these mats, when heated on a small plug-in electronic device, deactivates mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, they basically get intoxicated and they would fall down. After the brand was acquired by Godrej Sara Lee, the company started expanding the product range guided by consumer need gaps and technological innovations. For example, when the repellent mat effective and work better than mosquitoes coil. So you see, coils were replaced by these mosquito mats. The many users found the need to change the mat every night a very inconvenient and cumbersome process. So to address this consumer problem, the liquid vapor was introduced. Now, as a line extension, this is the line extension that we just discussed. Refill lasted for 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, and 90 days was introduced, making the refill one of the most fast growing products in the category. Many other product forms could address the consumer needs, and other different benefits were introduced. Some included aerosol spray and mosquito repellent creams and lotions that offered moisturizing benefit as added advantage. The company even launched a mosquito coil under the Goodnight brand, which was different from other coils in the market, and it emitted less smoke. The Goodnight brand promises sleep, a peaceful, undisturbed sleep by mosquitoes. As reflected in the caption, great nights begin with good night and protecting happy moments. So when you want to actually sleep, you want an undisturbed sleep because you want to get rejuvenated, you want to get started with all the energy for the next day. And if you are troubled the whole night by mosquitoes biting you, so you definitely are going to be very disturbed, and that's basically why the brand was Good Night. Okay, so effectively, what we exactly are trying to talk about here is that this is how the products are actually designed or restructured or re-extended or reintroduced in order to take into account the consumers, basically, who exactly are going to be benefiting from these products. So coming back to the next important aspect, which basically we would be looking at, is something which is called as co-branding. What is co-branding? When two or more well-known brands are combined, that is into a joint product or marketed together in some fashion, that exactly is called as co-branding. It could be basically the same company, it could be a joint venture, it could be a multiple sponsor, or it could be a retail. Like for example, if I say General Electrics and Hitachi light bulbs, they came together. Or let's say, for example, ITC came up with different type of, actually ITC stands for Indian Tobacco Company. So, but ITC, then it came up with all the different type of sports wills. ITC, when it had joined with the sportswear wills, so ITC wills. So effectively, this is called as co-branding. Or let's say, for example, a brand like, yes, Apple and Geo, yes, probably that could be there. Or Hewlett Packard. If I say Hewlett Packard, so 1996, Hewlett Packard began drastically cutting prices on printers, such as 60% of the cases HP could afford to make these cuts because customers typically spend twice the amount of replacement ink cartridges, toners, and specialty papers for printing the over the life of the printer, and inkjet supplies typically carried 45 to 60% of profit margins. As the price of the printers dropped, printer sales rose, and did the aftermarket sales. Now, HP or Hewlett Packard, they own about 46% of the worldwide printing business, a share that accounted for 32% of the printers, HP's 13.4 billion profits. So effectively, you can actually have multiple products where you have got two products which exactly are joined. So you can have for the same company, or let's say, for example, there's a brand called DuPont. Now, DuPont, which has exactly introduced a number of innovative products, such as Corian, which is actually a solid surface metal used for market range for apparels to aerospace, or like, for example, Tyvek's house wraps, or Teflon. Teflon is used in the non-stick coating of the different type of utensils that you have, or Kevlar. Kevlar is a fiber that's basically, it's becoming a household name. Or let's say, for example, there are a certain type of award-winning fibers like Sorona is a renewable source of bio-based polymer used in carpets and apparel markets. So effectively, like for example, you know, there are basically IBM, like Intel Inside. When you're looking at Intel Inside, what exactly does it mean? If you're looking at this brand called Intel Inside, what does it actually mean? Intel is actually a chip maker, isn't it? So what it means is that this process, this computer is being powered by a Intel Inside. So the chip inside, it's called as Intel. Actually, it stands for intelligent. The word actually comes from it's a part of the word called intelligent. So it's an intelligent machine. That's basically what it wants to actually say. So IBM, Dell, Compaq, they all are actually having a tie-up with a chip, which exactly is called as the Intel. So effectively, every brand, this is called as co-branding. There is two brands which are basically coming in together. Can you tell me an example of any other co-branded products?
So recently H&M collaboration. So recently H&M had a collaboration with Sabyasachi for
Yes.
a product line. I guess it was last summer where they developed their own line of garments. So
Mhm.
would that also be part of co-branding?
Yes. Mohammed Adil, you were also saying something? For you? Uh-huh. Yes. Come again? Yes, it's clear. Go ahead. Okay, okay, okay. So, mhm. Pringles. Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, basically, when basically you're using two brands in any sort of a combination, I will give you a very interesting example. I talked to you about ITC, Indian Tobacco Company, right? So ITC, they decided to come up with a variant called Kitchens of India. Uh, Basically, all the foodies, you might, because this is lunchtime and most of you would get yourself salivating if I'm going to talking about the ITC brands of India, but it's a very interesting case to read out. ITC launched the Kitchens of India brand of packaged ready-to-eat Indian gourmet in food in the premium segment with a brand promise to offer delightful dining experience. The brand had differentiated from other ready-to-eat brands in the economy segment and positioned in the convenient food. In addition, the quality had to be in line with international standards to capture the huge growing export market for authentic Indian cuisine. In order to ensure long shelf life, the product that is made with are used without preservatives. The packaging was vital. For its purpose, the company decided to use a retort, a process, and heat resistant material that are used in the packaging for competitive marketing. The sterilization process used ensure stability of food in the shelf at room temperature, and the graphics convey the theme of royal food and conform to international label standards. So you have got different products, like for example, you have got the butter chicken curry, which exactly is from the kitchens of India, authentic Indian cuisine
Ingredient
made in
branding.
India. Yes. So effectively, you exactly can have a range of, also like PepsiCo, Tropicana and PepsiCo. That's also an example
Ingredient
of
branding
co-brand.
India.
Yes. Yes, Pratika.
So we can
You want to
the
speak?
simplest example is of Maruti and Suzuki. Maruti is a different company and Suzuki is a different company. So both have been
It's a joint
collaborated.
venture basically.
Yes, sir.
So now we also have something very interesting where we call it the color wheel of branding and packaging. There is something which is called a red. So red simplifies something. It's a powerful color which oriented products of brands. Products associated with speed, with power, with dominance or iconic brands. They are basically red. So there is a brand of engine oil which is called as Lal Ghoda. I don't know if you've heard about it or not, but this is a brand which exactly is there. Then orange. Now, orange often connotes adventure and fun. So, like red, it's an attention grabber and thought of very stimulating appetite. Generally, food items you'll find are orange in color, energy rich fruit. It can be young. So generally, you'll find orange as a very important aspect. Yellow is equated with sunny warmth and cheeriness. So if it's actually a vibrant shade which has a feeling of wellness and mental activity, it's associated with wisdom, intellect. It works with yellow sports, social activities, and also overlooks gamers' attention. Now coming to green. Now green is all about cleanliness, freshness, renewal, and of course environmental friendly. So generally, we've got green. One of my research scholars was working on a product of green products and how exactly. So I was reading a section on green labeling just some time back, and it talks about the way how you actually project the green context, that is the environment positive context towards the different type of product. So that is why, when you're going to buy a shampoo also today, there's a shampoo which has been a black colored shampoo and there's a black shampoo which is green colored shampoo. So I don't say that the green color is called as a herbal shampoo, and the black shampoo means that your hair is going to go black if you're going to use. So this is the mindset that also plays a very important role when it actually comes down to deciding on the color of the branding. Then you have got purple, pink, brown, black, and white. Depends what your favorite color is. You can actually use it for the branding and labeling. So effectively, ingredient branding. So co-branding creates a brand equity for brands, parts that are necessarily contained within other branded product. We've seen the packaging is actually an extension of the product. Sometimes the role of packaging is very important because the value of the product would actually increase, or the real value would rare if you have exactly packaging. So packaging is also a new sort of a business to be in. I remember that we used to have a specific type of a packaging for the halogen lamps that we used to sell for these industrial for these automobiles. So it used to have the packaging was very important. I'll tell you why. Because we used to have a foam sort of a cylinder, a hollow cylinder within which the bulb used to actually go inside. So effectively, the reason for having this hollow cylinder, this thermocol hollow cylinder was that the fingerprints don't add to the bulb that is exactly there. So when you're going to put the bulb in the socket of the car, and you're going to remove, only then you're supposed to remove the sheath that is packaging. So one is it would save the bulb from getting tossed about and might end up breaking. But the second important thing was that your finger smudges don't actually go in the bulb, because the moment it decreases the life of the bulb, the quality of the lamp would not be very effective. So packaging plays a very important aspect, and that's our important aspect. Also, let me tell you, I'll give you an example that shrink wrap packaging actually helped us in cutting down the pilferage, because I will be discussing about it at any point of time when it comes to dealer management on intermediary management, where how shrink wrap packaging actually save you. So packaging has a multiple role beyond just, sometimes they're the silent advertisers also. Like for example, the one that you're seeing out here in your screens, it's actually Tiffany or company or Dolce & Gabbana. So technically their packaging speaks about, or De Beers, the type of product that exactly are inside that. So effectively they are the silent advertisers also, packaging. So packaging, they can be used as a marketing tool. They can be used for packaging objectives, self-service, consumer influence, company and brand image, or innovative opportunity. Also packaging identifies the brand, conveys description, persuasive, informative. It facilitates product transportation and protection, assists at home storage, and aids. Like for example, when you buy a package of surf, you get a big jar. Now definitely that surf, that the jar can be used for some other purpose, isn't it? So effectively, you can use it to store some pickles or some other items in your kitchen. You can actually have multiple jars that can be used. So effectively, packaging can be used very creatively in order to sell your products. Now, this is what we've already discussed. Something on labeling, warranties, and guarantees. This actually increases your anxiety about the type of a product that you want to actually purchase. That is, if it is labeled, like we are okay with gulping a bottle of Pepsi or Bisleri, but if it is unbranded, I don't think anybody would be ready to put that thing inside your body. Also, warranties, formal statement or expected product performance of the manufacturer, because if it does not, then we would be very, very anxiety oriented that our product money that we have invested in this sort of a product is going to go to flaw. Guarantees is again important because it promises of general and complete satisfaction. If you're not satisfied, we can always change back our products. So that's about the product strategy. I would like you to read the product strategy as you would be creating these projects right now. So this is a very interesting aspect, and I don't know what your experiences are, but it must be interesting, I would say. I would like all of you to share your experiences if you have any, because I think I've already run out of time, but to complete this topic today, because next class we'll be taking up how to design and manage services. That's basically what I intend to be taking up. Yes, any inputs coming from anywhere about the experience you're having about the products you're working on? I think many of you have left or what? Yes, Faisal Kudus
So
has left.
it has been a good experience so far. Like me and
Okay,
my group mates are working on it collaboratively, and
wonderful.
it's like I give certain perspective, but at the same time I get to know their point of view and their perspectives as well. So I'm exposed to a number of ideas. The main task is choosing which ones to consider.
Yes, that's the real fun, because the idea is this is going to be the real life experience, because when you'll be working in organizations, you'll be getting thousands of ideas, which ideas to use, how to actually gel multiple ideas together, how to create. Your actual creativity comes with how do you handle information. So information management is the art of effective prioritizing and putting things in perspective. So you have to pack everything within those 1,000 words. Now that's coming in, and you got to reduce it to 1,000 words. That's the idea behind it. And definitely it cannot be done in a day, and it needs to be a slow reckoning over a period of time. So all of you who all are working on it, I would like to congratulate you and all the best. So I think that's enough time for today. As it is, you've taken enough time. Thank you very much. There is anything
Thank
else
you,
you want to
sir.
share?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, Mauro.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, that's been engaging here too. Thank you very, very much for being such a lovely.
Allah Hafiz, sir.